Virtual job fair. I'm Nick Notario, and for the next half an hour, we're going to be talking about jobs, ways that you can get them. We're also going to have a number that you can call, and if you need some free career advice, there are recruiters that I know they're standing by, and they are here to help. And you know, we've done this now 68, 69 times in the past year and a half, these weekly virtual job fairs. And you know, we see the economy go one way, go the other. Well, now we got some really good data today. So it's a good day. Hopefully it's a great sign of things to come. And I don't want to give too much away because it's my partner in crime, Michelle's forte. So I'm going to find Michelle. There she is, I think, maybe. Let me pop her up. I'm going to try. No, she's not popping up. This is the preview. All right, Michelle, I'm trying to bring you in. It's not zooming you in. Well, you could talk, Michelle. I think we may be able to hear you.
Exactly. Well, we'll go with it anyway. Nick, thank you so much for having Workforce Solutions back. We are, again, excited to be here with you, with ABC13, because it looks like we're starting to get light at the end of the tunnel. This week has been incredibly busy on the jobs front. Yesterday, we saw information about record number of people who were quitting their job during the month of August. Today, we got an amazing claims report where for the first time since the start of the pandemic, that number dipped below 300,000 and it's beginning to approach those pre-pandemic levels. Nonetheless, the service industry still has a large number of jobs that are unfilled. And on top of that, we are in the middle of October. We're making it right to the middle of October, which is Disability Employment Awareness Month and Construction Careers Month. So we've got lots of information to process because if you are in the job market or if you're thinking about your next career move, this is all a lot to process. So hopefully we'll be able to help you make sense of all of that. And we've got some great leads on some construction careers as well as some other ones today. So we'll do our best to make sure that you have a job, a career, or at least a path forward, whatever it is that you want to do next.
I'm so glad I got it fixed. So now you're there, so everyone doesn't have to see my mug, so they can hear and see you just fine. Okay, you kind of alluded to it. We had a good jobs week, right? I mean, in terms of the numbers, it was the lowest since March of 2020.
Exactly. So in the week ending October the 9th, initial claims were 293,000. That's a decrease of 36,000 claims from the prior week. It's the first time since the start of the pandemic that the number dropped below 300,000, and it's steadily approaching that mark of 256,000, which is March 14th. That's when those pandemic claims really first started to kick in. Historically, the claims sit at 200,000 to 250,000 and kind of fluctuate in there. So this is a big marker to drop below that 300,000 mark. And then we also have continuing claims, which are continuing to decrease. Here in Texas, we saw roughly 1,000 fewer new claims and a small increase in continuing claims, but that was only 2,400. So that's almost negligible considering the big numbers we were talking about a year ago.
So what do you know, I know people are going into Workforce Solutions because they can, book appointments and they can go in. What are you hearing between, these are numbers, we can regurgitate them, we can share them, but, what are you guys at Workforce Solutions, how do you feel in talking to people about this?
Absolutely. So this is the Michelleism. This is the people part of those numbers. So here's what I see happening, and that is that the pandemic is really amplifying all of the challenges that working families face day in and day out, and it is the pandemic is just really shedding light on that. Service sector jobs have always had high turnover. In food service, it's just very common for people to change jobs. They go across the street to earn $1 more an hour. And so we really need to be mindful of the wages of the people that we're talking about, because this is the bulk of our working families. This is how people live day in and day out. And so this can oftentimes get masked, I think, in when we're looking at those big picture numbers, because it gets overwhelming. It's a whole lot easier when you put it in the context of an actual working family. So it's bringing those things to light, that $1 an hour can really be make a difference in someone's income. The other thing is that I think that we're seeing that we probably didn't get to see before, and that is that when jobs are scarce, people will tolerate working conditions. You know, you've got to feed your family. You have to keep that roof over your head. So there's impetus for you to put up with things that maybe aren't an ideal workplace. Well, that's not the case right now, because in all these service sector jobs, there are so many openings that you as a worker have some choices. And then never forget that childcare and after school care is expensive. I mean, anybody who has a kid will tell you that paying for childcare is like having to pay for, it's another car payment or another house payment. That's how people put it into context. So if the wages of the jobs that you can get don't make sense, if those economics don't make sense, then people are going to learn to economize. They're going to maybe even turn to their side hustles, where they're getting the flexibility that they need to take care of their families, both the kids. And again, we've seen it again during the pandemic, that we have these sandwich generations where you have kids and elder parents in the same household. So people will economize, and then again, oftentimes turning into the side hustles so that they can generate the income, but still have that flexibility. And so I think that's kind of the subtext that we don't necessarily see in the numbers, but that when you put the flesh on it, on those numbers from the real people that we talk to, that's a little bit more of the picture that I think we should all be looking at.
It's funny you say the side hustle, because when I did a story yesterday on the record number of people quitting their jobs, and the business advisor that I interviewed, he said that the side hustle is a major reason why people are quitting their jobs, because they're being called back to the office. They've been at home this whole time. So some of them picked up a freelance gig. Some of them started their own venture. And when you're called back into the office, you can't do that side hustle. So, you know, it's finding a balance for employers that are bringing employees back. Well, how can I potentially still allow my employee to maybe do that side hustle? What can I do to offer them where they don't need that side hustle? So it was really interesting. And then he talked about, and I know that you would like this, Michelle, he talked about, you know, what can employers do that maybe isn't just about boosting pay, but what kind of other benefits? And he suggested not only childcare, but this one I found interesting. How about dog care? Paying for someone to walk the dog while you're gone. Or he even mentioned transportation. He says Google even offers a bus that you can, so like you can think outside the box and offer things. So I thought of you the whole time I was doing that interview, because I know that some of those ideas you would probably agree with, that maybe are kind of different and neat and would really help out an employer.
Absolutely. You know, work is never a one-dimensional thing. You know, we think of it as a transaction in terms of pay for services performed, but in a full-time job, we're really entering into a relationship. And I think that that's what people are discovering, is that the pandemic has given them the opportunity, and in some cases the time, to really ponder that relationship, the relationship to the work, and then how that fits in with the relationship with their families. And so I think that all of this, both the number side and then the human feeling side, are having an impact on what we're seeing happening in the economy. And I think, again, I'm not the economist, but I think that all of this is making for a reset in the market economy again, right? You know, we have that supply and demand, and it's all about bringing those workers and employers together in that marketplace. And so I think that the marketplace is really looking for a new equilibrium, and that equilibrium is going to be more than just about wages. It's also going to have to factor in the human condition and what we as human beings consider to be our priorities. And a lot of that, the priorities that we're seeing aren't just about wages. It's about the flexibility. It's about quality of life. It is about self-improvement and self-investment. So all of those things make sense. Vacation time, the ability to, if you have a knowledge job, to work from home. Flexibility in a service job can even mean flexing the shift hours so that it makes sense, so that maybe you can get to your kid's soccer game, or something like that. It can also mean the things that you referred to, the extra benefits. So sometimes people are interested in making sure they invest in their careers. So you see people who are looking at what companies have flexibility so that I can do online learning, what companies have flexibility so that I can pursue that next degree or that certification, or who's going to help me pay for learning this new piece of software. I love the idea of a doggy daycare scholarship, because again, it's what is important to us as human beings is something that we haven't seen in the marketplace in a while, and the pandemic has like opened all of that up. So it's really exciting to see, especially for me, because I work with some incredibly brilliant people who know the numbers, who understand the dynamics of the economy. And then we have all of these wonderful people that are frontline staff that interact with real human beings every day. So for me, it's absolutely fun to see those two things coming together, and in some cases colliding. But I think for the long term, this is going to be good as we transform again almost into that next level of the future of work. You know, we talked about having the industrial revolution, and we talked about having the digital revolution, and you know, it's almost as though we're having that reconnection into the humanity into this revolution. So I'm getting way off topic, but you can tell that I love anything about jobs in the economy.
That's why I thought of you during that interview. And speaking of jobs, we've got a number of them. And so if you want to give a little preview of what we have, and then talk about our infamous ABC13 viewer hotline as well.
Absolutely. So the ABC13 viewer hotline is open Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. That phone number is 832-849-0480. And the folks at that hotline are staffed and ready to go. They're going to help you with these job leads or any other job leads that you need in order to find your next career. The other thing they can do is they can coach you through whatever you need, whether that be interview advice, whether that be updating your resume, whether that be connecting with training, or whether it's short-term or long-term, maybe helping you get that certification, whatever that might be, whatever next little boost you need to get your next job, the ABC13 hotline folks are there and ready to help. But specifically today, we have 12 new employers with 22 job postings, and they have 113 new job openings. These are new job openings this week. And again, just a reminder that for the ABC13 weekly job fair, we're pushing the salaries up. So we're having fewer jobs than we did maybe 6 months ago, where we were just trying to create the broadest opportunity. Now we're really focusing on elevating those wages. So even if these positions aren't the right one for you, don't hesitate to reach out to us, because we have thousands of open jobs, and you can connect with these jobs a number of different ways. If you are on social media and like to stay on social media, head on over to facebook.com/advancemycareer. That is the Workforce Solutions Facebook page. Once you get there, click on the jobs tab, should be the second or third tab across the top. And then you will see a number of job postings that we have. And in fact, we have quite a few employers that are looking to participate. So check back with us throughout the weekend. And maybe if you're watching this job fair at a later time, check it out, because we're continuing to add positions there that we're recruiting for, and we'll keep adding some more throughout the day. to bring those to you as quickly as we can. So once you get to the ABC13, once you get to the facebook.com/advance my career, you click on the jobs tab, you'll see a number of positions. Once you see a position that you are interested in, click on the apply now button. That opens up a dialogue with your buddy Terry.
Yeah. Hi,
And
Terry.
Terry is going to Terry is standing by because she wants to get all of your contact information. If you do have a resume, you can send that via messenger to Terry as either a Word or a PDF, just not a picture. So again, we're going to take the contact information that you give us through your Facebook profile, and we're going to connect you with the recruiter. That recruiter is going to make sure that you are qualified for the position that you're interested in. And if for any reason you're not, we're still going to connect you with job openings that are right for you. So that's if you are on Facebook. If you are on the web, you can head on over to wrksolutions.com/jobs now. So again, wrksolutions.com/jobs now. And then right over on the right-hand side, we have the as seen on ABC13 column. Those are, again, all of our fresh jobs that we have this week. We have a number of them that are carrying through from previous weeks, and those are way lower down on the page. Lots of great opportunities. If you are interested in any of these job titles, all you have to do is click on the job title, and it will take you to the complete job description at MyTX Career. That will give you the opportunity to see all of the details about that job, what specifically that employer is looking for, where that job is located, anything about the education requirements, all of those details. The beauty of this is you can apply directly online. If you have a Work in Texas profile, same user ID and password to get into MyTX Career. If you haven't set up a profile, it only takes about 5 minutes. So go to mytxcareer.com, create a profile. You can apply directly there, or you can reach out to us at the ABC13 viewer hotline, 832-849-0480, or send us an email at jobs@wrksolutions.com. So any way you want to connect with us, we are here and ready to help.
And I always like to add before we jump into the jobs, with that viewer hotline, which you see right there at the bottom of the screen, 832-849-0480. You can call with any kind of career advice. So you can call about one of these jobs, or say you need help working on your resume, you need help with interview practice, maybe you want to learn a new skill. There are a lot of opportunities right now. The American Rescue Plan has put millions of dollars in community colleges, and there are grants available to help people get back into the workforce. So there are a lot of opportunities. And this is a way, if you call that number right there, 832-849-0480, tell them Nick and the jobs lady, Michelle, sent you, and they will get you hooked up. And the best part is, and when I talk to people, I actually interviewed a woman yesterday. I told her it's free, and they don't believe me. And I'm like, no, it really is. And so if you call, if you need help, if you're stuck, the woman I talked to yesterday didn't really know where to turn. I always point in this direction. So please call that number if you need help. All right, Michelle, let's talk about some of these jobs, and if there's any ones that you want to focus on, and I can pull them up.
Absolutely. So this month is Construction Career Awareness Month. So we pulled together quite a few construction jobs. Just a reminder that we will always be happy to connect you with the folks at the Building and Trades Council. So we leave that flyer up at the top because that is the pre-apprenticeship program. So many people have found success with that. And so we want to make sure that people do have access to that. We get a lot of questions about it, so that's why we leave it up there for you. But moving on. We also have Winshaw is looking for a hydraulic technician. This is a pretty good paying job at between 15 and they're willing to pay up to $22 an hour if you come with good experience. You'll be working on hydraulic systems and components. They do ask that you have a GED. You have to be at least 18 years old because of the kind of equipment that you're working on. And they do prefer that you have some experience working with hydraulic tools and preferably some electronic or electrical motor and component experience. So that is again a hydraulic technician for Winshaw. We have truck. I'm going to get this messed up, but it's a big rig truck driver.
There you go.
JRP Demolition Services has a number of positions that they need to fill. They have a big rig truck operator. They have heavy equipment operators. So think in terms of like backhoes and things of that nature. They do need some experience with that, but those again are pretty darn good paying positions that you can get into. So if you have that kind of experience, please reach out to us. We're happy to help you connect with that. That tractor trailer driver is paying up to $40 an hour. So when we mention things like going back to school to start a new career, those are the kinds of things that the Workforce Solutions staff can help you with, depending on what you want to earn and the kind of work that you want to perform. We can have a conversation with you so that, again, we can figure out what it is that you want to do, what your earnings aspirations are, and then we can walk you through excuse me.
Oh, excuse you.
Who offers that training and how to get to it. So that is at sorry, I coughed and lost my place.
Oh, that's okay.
That is that's our friends at JRP Demolition Services. LabCon has a couple of positions open. They need a concrete foreman and, again, another truck driver position. We've been hearing stories about the challenges with moving goods from the port. So again, you're going to see a lot of truck driver listings. MDS Boring and Drilling Company needs help in the form of a lawn care technician. Then we have Mustang Tractor and Equipment Company. This is kind of cool because these are the folks that make the equipment that you see being used at yeah, so it's Mustang Caterpillar something or another. And these are the folks that have that equipment. It goes out to the people that work on the construction site. So they need help with a used equipment marketing coordinator, because as you can imagine, that equipment is pretty expensive. So sometimes it gets used a lot, sometimes it doesn't. They need somebody who can get that used equipment back out into the field and working again. They need a recruiter. So if you are in the HR field and you need to get back into the workforce, check out Mustang Tractor and Equipment Company. They need a controller. So again, accounting experience. So even if you are in the area of construction, when you're thinking about construction careers, it's not just the labor positions. There's quite a few positions that support the actual construction activity. We have Pan Energy Services. They need a pipeline engineer. This is over in the Galleria area. They need what is basically a software engineer, so an applications specialist. They need somebody who is going to be supervising technology and integration, and again, a special type of software that is well beyond my very limited understanding in that IT arena. But you can also get a job as a customer service representative, a heat technician. And then, of course, we're going to be in Alvin next week. So we've already got a few listings there for UTMB, an LVN, a patient services, and a medical assistant at the UTMB clinic there in Alvin. So Alvin got pushed back a little bit, but we are already starting to work on that.
And with any of these positions, Michelle, if someone were to apply, we always like to tell them, make sure you're paying attention to your phone. Explain why, and just how quickly, if someone were to participate in these events, how quickly could they hear from a recruiter?
Absolutely. So you can actually hear back pretty quickly from a recruiter. Our recruiters are standing by, and they're literally working to fill these job openings. They are working with these employers. They know what those employers want, so they want to talk to you. If you are interested in any of these positions, and especially if you connect with us through Facebook, your contact information is going to come over to us, and that recruiter is going to call you back today or tomorrow. Many of us are still working remotely. We're trying to keep the number of people of staff in our offices limited so that we can get as many people in and still have that safe social distancing. You were in the office last week and you saw that we moved things around. We put up some plexiglass. We want to make it such that our customers can come in and visit with us, which means that the people that can work remotely, we have them working remotely. And that means that when they're returning your phone call, it may not say Workforce Solutions, because those phones are routed through the computer all kinds of crazy different ways. And so when that recruiter calls you back, it's either going to show up as a unlisted or no ID or some kind of funky number that doesn't necessarily say Workforce Solutions. Nonetheless, if you are in the job market, it is important that you answer your phone, because that's your chance to talk to that recruiter. And when you get a chance to talk to that recruiter, that's when you're really selling yourself. That's when you are making your case as to why you are the best candidate for that position. And that's going to help you get the interview even faster. The employers that work with us for these ABC13 virtual job fairs understand that we generate a lot of applications for them, because it's ABC13 viewers who get to hear about these opportunities. So those employers are ready to do interviews. They know that by Monday, they're going to have some interviews lined up and they're going to need to be interviewing folks. So it's critically important that if you are interested in any of these positions and you hit the apply now button, or you go onto the website and apply through there, that when you get a phone call, that you answer that phone, because you really don't want to miss your opportunity.
All right. And I know, Michelle, this week, or actually tomorrow, is National White Cane Day. And, in addition to that, according to what I think the CDC data shows that 1 in 4 adults in the U.S. has a disability. So when it comes to National Disability Employment Awareness, how can people with a disability go about getting a work? Especially, I would imagine, in these days and times, it may have changed even from what they knew before.
You're correct. When you have a disability, it can be an extra burden looking for work. There's a couple of things that happen. When you have a disability, you don't necessarily always feel comfortable disclosing that, because you fear that people might use that to try to disqualify you. So typically people, you think it's going to affect your job prospects, so you're hesitant to talk about it. But here in the Houston area, there are quite a few people with disabilities who do work. They attain the same education levels. They have the same kind of success in the workforce. But the numbers show us that there's about 100,000 people, or at least 100,000 people with a disability, who are not in the workforce. And what we want to do is make it easier for individuals with a disability who want to get back into the workforce to be able to start that conversation about finding out what individual resources are available that can help them either keep the job that they have or get an even better job. And so that tool is called Start My VR. It's really easy to access. You go to wrksolutions.com/Start My VR. VR stands for vocational rehabilitation. And the actual URL is really long, so that's why we shortened it to give you that little redirect, that connection. So wrksolutions.com/startmyvr. And what that does is, it's a web form. It asks you a few simple questions about your disability and what you want to accomplish in your job search. That's going to get you connected with the vocational rehabilitation services specialist, who is an expert in listening. And we pride ourselves on that, about really listening and being people focused, so that we can understand what your specific unique situation is, because again, that's kind of the theme of the day today is people and individual situations. So we really want to understand what your unique situation is so that we can connect you with the right kinds of resources. Some of the more common resources that people get connected with include things like hearing aids, wheelchairs, artificial limbs and braces, because if you're a parent, again, we've been talking about this, about lifestyle and choices, oftentimes those things can get expensive. So if they wear out, oftentimes we as adults don't necessarily put ourselves first, but if that device wears out, that can inhibit your ability to perform your job or even the confidence to land a new one. There's services like occupational and speech therapy that are particularly good after you've had an accident, or, as our population ages, after you have something like a stroke. So again, you have to learn how to do things differently, but it doesn't mean that you can't do the job. You just have to learn slightly modified skills. And then we've met people like Cole Cameron. He has intellectual and developmental disabilities, and the job coaches are that conduit so that people with an intellectual or developmental disability can actually prosper in the workplace. It means that they have to learn workplace cultures and behaviors and things like that may be intuitive to other people, but that not so much for someone who learns differently. So it is, again, National Disability Employment Awareness Month, as well as Construction Careers Month. So we're really grateful to you, Nick, that you continue to let us bring all of these resources to the ABC13 viewers, because we see what happens when businesses can't function if they don't have workers. And so it's really important that people who want to work but maybe have some kind of a hindrance, whether it's knowledge, whether it's a disability, whether it's knowing how to navigate the job market, that you have the access to those resources, because again, we exist to make sure that we are elevating that economic and human potential. We're funded by the U.S. Department of Labor to provide these services at absolutely no cost. So no reason that you shouldn't take advantage of what is free and available.
And you mentioned Cole. I got to meet Cole last year at Tony's Tex-Mex out in the Katy Freeway, and that was certain stories stick with you, and that's one of them. It was great to see this young man getting an opportunity to work there at Tony's Tex-Mex, and the employees there, I think they were more excited about him being there and working with him than he was. He was just a joy to work with. And, I was at Tony's Mexican yesterday, and I meant to ask about Cole. I didn't, but I got to get an update to see how Cole is doing. All right, Michelle, I know, another thing that we were going to get to, but I know we're running out of time, is childcare. There are several scholarships available with workforcesolutions.com. There are 3. Let's see if I can get them. One is the regular scholarship, and then another is a new one, kind of, if you're unemployed, a 90-day child care scholarship that can help you out. And then lastly, the other one is if you work in the service industries, you can get a full year of child care provided. And then the scholarship, the first one that I talked about, you do have to pay a portion of it, but this one with the service industry, it's totally covered. So you can get all that information. Let me see if I can pull it up here on the website on WRKSolutions.com. But you can literally apply for these scholarships right now. I'm going to walk you through it right here. And it allows you to financial aid for childcare. There you go. There are 3 different ones. So please, if you need help with childcare, if this is, I know a lot of people are quitting their jobs. This is one reason why, because they don't have the money for childcare. So this is a way to get some help with that. All right, Michelle, did I do okay with that?
You did a brilliant job. Good. I swear, the next time you walk into an office, we're gonna give you a Workforce Solutions name badge.
I'm okay with that.
you've learned all of these great services. And if you need childcare but you don't know which of these to apply for, just call the ABC13 hotline. Tell them what your situation is. They'll get you connected with the right thing. And again, short-term scholarships if you're looking for work that covers you up to 90 days. Our regular scholarships if you are a working family with low to moderate income, and then the service industry recovery if you are in arts and entertainment, hotels and restaurants, and then any kind of retail, including things like car dealerships. We can help you cover 100% of your childcare costs for a full year. So that really ups the value of your paycheck by making sure that you don't have to pay for those childcare costs.
All right, Michelle, thank you very much. I can't believe we're already at that time once again. So I appreciate the time, and I know you're gonna be jealous because I'm gonna be at Minute Maid Park tomorrow and Saturday. I know I can wait. Let me pull up your face so that the viewers can see. There, yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
I'll be at Minute Maid Park the next couple of days. But so I would look forward to Thursdays. I saw that great number, and so I was excited about that. Maybe not as excited as I'm going to be at Minute Maid Park tomorrow, but you know, it's still a good time. So thank you, Michelle. You have a great weekend. Anything else you want to add, Michelle, before we go?
No, just again to thank you guys so much, because we couldn't reach the number of people that we reach with our services if it wasn't for the work that you continue to do. And every week you stick with us, you help us connect people with the jobs and all of the resources. So we are incredibly grateful to you.
Well, thank you, Michelle. You all do the hard work. So I give all the credit to you all. When we have those job numbers, it's because of the recruiters there helping people find work. All right, Michelle, thank you very much. And we're going to be, by the way, ABC 13 Localish is going to be in Alvin next week. So we are going to be, I got some great stories lined up, and then we're going to have a job fair specifically focused on the Alvin area. So if you live in that area, make sure you join us next week, but we'll also have jobs in other parts of the Houston area. So it's not just going to be for Alvin. So if you're looking for work elsewhere, we will have that for you next week. All right, everyone, have a great weekend. Go Stros, and we will see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.